Alright, elasticity. Now we're going to do the math. If the theory fails, if we're not sure, and you actually have some data to look at to determine if it's elastic or inelastic, the product, the good, now we're going to get into the mathematical side. Alright, really use numbers, crunch some numbers, and find out if it's elastic or inelastic. ED represents elasticity of demand, equals the change in the quantity over the change in the price. To calculate this elasticity, we're going to take it step by step, show you guys the mathematical equation so you guys can compute this nice and slow now. Okay, so step one, we're going to figure out the price. Alright, what's the new price? Minus the old price, all over the old price, to try to get that percentage change. Then you use the bottom, or the top side of the equation, the new quantity minus the old quantity, all over the old quantity. Okay, this is what the entire equation looks like. For example, now, let's assume that the price of a Dairy Queen ice cream cone increases from $2 to $2.20. We're going to figure out if this demand for these ice cream cones is going to be elastic or inelastic. Well, using our formula now, we'll take the new price minus the old price, $2, and divide it by the old price. Okay, just again finding the percentage change. The result of this price increase, now we're looking at the quantity here, here's how it reacts. The daily demand for ice cream decreases from 10 cones to 8 cones a day. Plug this into our formula now. 8 cones minus 10 cones, the old quantity, all over the old quantity. Plug that into our formula now. Here's the entire thing. Do all the math and simplify it. Ends up being 20% over 10%. Our elasticity ends up being 2. And on this chart right here, this will determine if it is elastic or inelastic. Don't worry about the perfectly elastic, unit elastic, or perfectly inelastic. We're just looking at, to simplify things, relatively elastic or relatively inelastic. So if that number that we come up with is greater than 1, it's going to be relatively elastic. If it's less than 1, it's going to be relatively inelastic. So for our previous example, we had that ice cream cone. It ended up having a demand of 2. That was the kind of the coefficient that we came up with. That uppercase E, lowercase d. Okay, that equaled 2 after our formula. So, ice cream cones from Dairy Queen, we discovered, were relatively elastic.